I've worn Levi's 501s for most of my life, but somehow these are only the second pair of shrink to fits I've ever owned. And I may have the weirdest break-in method on YouTube. All right, let's get going. A brand new pair of Levi's 501 shrink to fit in silver. Right off the bat, the first thing I want to know is where were these made? Because if you're into Levi's, you already know, people get real opinionated about country of origin. Hi folks, I'm Dagwood Streets, and today I'm doing a follow-up video to my previous video about my camouflage 501 shrink to fit jeans. This pair right here is my second pair of 501s that I bought on Amazon, and both of them are shrink to fit, also known as rigid. Now I've been wearing Levi's 501s for nearly a century, give or take a few decades. But believe it or not, these are the only two shrink to fit pairs I've ever owned, my camis and now this brand new pair of silvers. And the reason I ordered this silver pair is a little different than the reason I ordered the camo pair. My first pair, the camouflage shrink to fits, I bought because, well, they looked cool. They were unusual, and they had personality. They didn't look like everybody else's jeans. I've never been complimented on pants my entire life until I bought these camis. Apparently there are a lot of 501 fanboys out there because I get stopped and asked a lot of questions when I wear these. Well, my first pair, the camouflage shrink to fits, which I bought because they looked cool, they were unusual, and they had personality. They didn't look like any other jeans you see wearing around. The second pair, these silvers, honestly, I ordered them more because I could get them in a 33 waist. They have a lot of different styles, but man, finding a 33 waist is hard to find. My camis are 32 by 34, which means 32 in the waist, 34 length, and I'm exactly 6 feet tall. I found them just a little tight in the waist and maybe a tad long in the leg. Not bad, but not perfect. Remember, they're 501s, you can customize them, so I'm stretching the waist. But when I saw these silver rigid with a 33 waist, I thought, all right, maybe this is the sweet spot. I would have loved a 33 in the length, or even a 32 would work fine. I have 32s, they fit perfect. But anyone who shops for 501 shrink to fit knows sometimes you're not buying your ideal numbers. You're buying the pair that you can find. Plus, since these are shrink to fit, you can manipulate them and customize them to fit you. I'm not going to give you the full Levi's history lesson because YouTube's already done that to death. 501s matter because it's basically the blueprint. Straight leg, the button fly, the 5 pocket setup. Extra little pocket comes in handy. Yeah. .501s are one of those rare pieces of clothing that have survived, not because they're trendy, because they work. It just sits there like, hey, I've been cool longer than you've been alive. And the shrink to fit version is even more interesting because it's raw, unwashed denim that is meant to form to your body over time. Check out this spot here where I keep a spare camera battery. Can you see the outline? These are made in China. The silvers are made in Mexico. These are made in China. So two things that I always have here. One is the knife and one is the spare camera battery. I also carry my wallet in my front pocket. See how it's getting that square shape? from the bottom of my wallet. Can you see that? These jeans are becoming mine. I don't know what this is, where I grab when I pull my zipper off, maybe. What is shrink to fit? Shrink to fit or rigid means the jeans start out rigid, stiff, and unfinished feeling compared to, pre-washed or stone-washed denim. They're not already broken in for you. You do the breaking in, and that's the whole appeal. There are quite a few ways to size them depending on how you want to wear them. Some people buy true to waist and then longer in the length. Some people size up to 1 to 2 sizes if they plan to machine wash and then put them in a dryer. Purists buy true to size and just wear them raw for a long time. I heard a video where Levi's CEO was saying he wears them 10 days between washing, but most people say 100 days or even a year. They were designed to be worn for a year. And that's why a lot of people really like shrink to fit, and some people hate them. If you want your jeans to come out of the package already soft and faded, these are not your jeans. But if you like your gear to become yours, then this is the experience. And that's exactly why I like them. I love the idea of things that are customized. I personalize nearly everything I own because I don't care about keeping stuff in museum quality, or I'm going to resell it so it needs to be perfect like a lot of my buddies do with their guitars. I'm not trying to impress the next owner. I'm trying to make it mine. I don't keep my guitars in stock condition. I do what I want to them. Same thing with motorcycles, cameras, and my jeans. If I use something in an intimate, personal way, I want it to reflect me. Those reasons are why shrink to fit jeans make so much sense to me in my personal situation. They start out generic, but then they become personal. The way I break in shrink to fits is probably not the way most people do it. First, I soak them in warm water in a bathtub. Then I let them dry. Hang them up with the legs flat. And this part absorbs a lot of water. It's heavier. It's going to pull on the pants. The weight will be pulling down as it dries. And this is where denim purists start to lose their mind. I actually wear them in the swimming pool. Then I walk around in them wet, with the thinking that I want them to conform to the shape of my body. Let them know what job they're signed up for. Is that standard Levi's break-in protocol? Probably not. But who cares? Is it weird? Maybe. One thing I always check on a new pair is where they were made. Levi's has been made in a lot of places over the years, including the United States, Mexico, Egypt, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Vietnam, and other countries. I know they used to be made in Cambodia, but I heard not anymore. That part is kind of personal for me too, because when I met my wife, believe it or not, she was working in a Levi's factory in Texas. And what was her job? She was making 501s. So there's a little bit of history tied up in all this. As far as the country of origin goes, denim people get a little superstitious. I've heard people say the best Levi's 501s are the ones made in Egypt. I think that's because people associate Egyptian cotton with quality, and online denim communities do tend to speak highly of certain pairs that are made in Egypt. Levi's would never admit that the best 501s come from Egypt, but I say, my opinion is, if you ever come across a pair of 501s made in Egypt, just grab them. Let's get to the elephant in the room. I highly suspect that when I was a child, my parents spiked my baby bottle with a drug called no-acetol. It's just coasters. It's an elephant and it just holds little coasters, a souvenir I bought in Thailand. Because I grew up with no-acetol. I find it's a common problem with Caucasian people like me. Unfortunately for the majority of us, no-acetol is nearly impossible to cure. But there is help. Levi's 501s can help, let's say, fill out the architecture. One thing I do not like are these super long tags. You know, sometimes you wear them and this is sticking out, so I usually just cut them off. Now, why would somebody choose shrink to fit Levi over the tons of other styles they have? Well, because they want something that feels like a process and less of just a purchase or a transaction. With pre-washed jeans, a lot of the character is already there. With rigid denim, however, you create that character. The wear pattern, the little imperfections. It becomes a record of how you move through the world. And to me, that's way more interesting than buying a pair of jeans that already look like somebody else lived in them. Here's what I like about 501s. Zippers on.